Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the podcast. I am really looking forward to introducing you to my friend Jessica. She is fascinating, and we met recently at a retreat in Santa Monica, and I just love her. You know, when you meet someone and you are in conversation and you almost have to just remind yourself internally, I just met this person, but I feel so connected to them. And that was definitely my experience when I met Jess. And so I really wanted to have her on the podcast and share her goodness with you. And today is the day. So a little bit about her. A leading creative agency owner, marketing strategist, and brand oracle, Jessica Krewson is a brand master and educator. She is the owner and CEO of designKREW Incorporated, a high-end branding and digital marketing agency in Los Angeles, California. Her mission is to manifest powerful brands into a tangible, beautiful, profitable reality and facilitate the growth and excellence of other creatives all across the globe. With over 15 years of experience, Jessica takes the visions and dreams of powerful feminine entrepreneurs and develops them into strong and aligned personal and/or lifestyle brands. She educates her audience through podcasts, social media, email newsletters, and more. Jessica's approach is a blend between data and intuition, science and magic, the known and the discoverable. With successful marketing and business building strategies, Jessica and her team create powerful brands, brand stories, and brand aesthetics that attract loyal audiences to their clients and students, increasing reach and revenue. She's going to talk about this at the end of our podcast, but she has a super fun quiz on her site. And so that's all linked below. But this quiz will guide you into how to share and develop your personal brand according to your brand archetype. So we are hyper-focused and thrilled about building wildly successful personal brands for female entrepreneurs through messaging, visibility, custom photo shoots, brand identity, high-class websites, and landing pages. Oh my word. So if you are an entrepreneur, you need to know Jessica Krewson. And if you're not, but you just love fabulous conversation with fabulous people, then you are also in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the latest episode of Say Yes to Yourself with my new friend, Jessica Krewson. Jess, I am so excited to have this conversation. Thank you in advance for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Wendy. I'm so excited to chat with you and be with you in this capacity, in this way.
It's really fun. And I'm excited to get to know you better. So we just recently met, but fast friends. You just know when you meet your people, it feels good.
Exactly. I just feel your creative energy, and I felt so attracted to that and your lightness and your beauty and your soul. So I'm very excited to just continue to get to know you more.
You are so sweet. Thank you. I receive all of that and just reflect it right back to you. It takes one to know one, as they say on, I have a third grader, so I know that's what they say.
Yes.
But let's just start off our conversation with this. How would you say that you are saying yes to yourself in this season?
Ooh, in this season of my life. Oh, I feel like this is the time in my life where I've actually been able to say yes the most than ever before. I have a big birthday coming up. I won't say which one, but
biggest one yet.
Exactly. And I just, who knows if it's age, maturity, life experience. But I think really all across the board in my life, I've been saying really yes to what makes me happy, what lights me up, what feels aligned with my joy, my energy. And I know I'm being a little broad brush right now, but starting there and it's like checking in and knowing to check in and have that awareness of who I really am. And then living my life according to that. Now, does it always go to plan? Absolutely not. Almost never, right? Like that's just how life flows and goes. But I kind of get to remain still at the center. And so how that translates into my life with business and work, I'm definitely like, if there's projects or things I don't want to take on because they don't feel right and good and aligned for me, I don't do it. And relationships, both personal and professional, again, if they're not aligned, then with blessings, please, go on in peace and love and joy in your life. And I get to live, where I just feel like I have choices, if that makes sense, a lot of choices. So it feels really, really good. And I always say, we're always a growth in process. We're always a work in progress. It's just the matter of time it takes to go from reaction or response to shifting things back in alignment with the energy that feels good to me, and moving from that place. No more have tos, shoulds, gotta go. Like that feels like it's all dissipating and, creeps back in. Like we've been taught as a society, like hustle, grind. And I'm just not here for it anymore. And that feels good too. Very settled.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
I probably a year and a half ago, under the really leadership of our business mentor, Gina DeVee, decided that I am only available for what delights me.
Love it.
And when I first uttered those words, I laughed out loud. Like, is that even a thing? Are you allowed to do that? And in the practice of just saying it and writing it down on a sticky note and putting it next to my computer and putting it in the kitchen, and then really using that as a grid for checking in with myself.
Totally.
And what does delight me? I mean, because that we can say that and we can act on that, but there's a knowing involved. I need to know what delights me. And 100%. There are so many elements of my day that delight me. There are a lot of chores associated with those delights that are not as fun.
Yes.
For example, I will be changing out of this darling shirt after our call and cleaning out my chicken coop because it's warm enough that it's not frozen. So
yes. And like secretly inside of me, like there's a person inside of me that wants a chicken coop and goats and like everything that you're embodying right now. And so just vicariously, I'm soaking up farm homestead life through you, which
Oh,
I don't know if I could hang, quite frankly. But the thought of it just delights me.
It's my dreamy barn life. And I'm
Yeah.
promoting the Instagram version of the dreamy barn life,
I love
which
it.
is great because, now you know this, but I just got my bed and breakfast permit approved.
So excited for you.
So
Congratulations. Yes.
So you can just come for a weekend of my dreamy barn life.
Yep.
And then go back home to
the city.
Southern California life.
Yes.
And,
yes.
I grew up in Southern California dreaming of the life that I have now. And I had no idea how much work is associated with it.
Yes.
I think it's probably similar to parenting, where you think, well, I mean, how hard can it be? People do it all the time. It's a child little, whatever. Oh my word, it is no joke.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it's constant. Like it never, very much like parenting, never lets up, right?
Like you don't know that you had 15 minutes of free time today until the end of the day. And they were not consistent. They weren't consecutive 15 minutes, but so it's just, I think that shift in, like you said, coming to the remembrance and realization that you have choice, and me being only available for what delights me.
Yeah.
It's just that shift in energy and in how we approach each day and each task and each opportunity, so that we can bring the best version of ourselves, because we know that these things are happening for us, not to us.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that was like a big misconception I had for a very long time, that a life full of choice, was like so black and white, like shift from I don't know to I know. It's really those micro, every moment. How do I want to think? How do I want to feel? Who do I want to be? Moment to moment choices of yes and delight and dazzle that really create the whole thing. So I think sometimes people, myself included, like overwhelm the self and thinking like this big grandiose thing needs to happen, and not so. It really is like these little moment to moment things, and really looking for the delights that are even already there, and that and not to miss those. Like these gorgeous oranges, you guys can't see me, but there's this orange tree right outside my window, and they're growing and they're changing color now. They were green forever, and just watching their sweet, slow evolution and pain, or what feels slow to me as like human with a brain that's like active all the time, but it's all in perfect timing. And I just love that. These oranges always remind me how to be.
I love that.
Yes, I call it my magical orange tree, and it's always very abundant. There's like thousands of oranges, I swear, on this one tree.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Do you do anything with them?
We pick them. Yeah. I mean, we have neighbors and make orange juice and, all kinds of things. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
I love too what you said about, looking for these opportunities to be dazzled, to be reminded, we will find what we're looking for. And if we think, well, I can't, not everyone can be like Wendy and only be available for what delights her. Which
yes,
great, because you totally can. But I mean, sometimes, like you said, we think, well, once I, if I had $1 million and my kids were all in school and I didn't have a job and I could just lay around all day, but would that really delight you? That would not delight me.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, how would I think, act, and feel if I had those things? Because that's what we just think the thing is going to bring us the state in which we want to exist. So you have the choice. I have the choice to live in that state right now. One of gratitude, one of abundance, one of seeing the miracles all around me all the time. And it's not like pie in the sky Pollyanna either. Like life still happens, but I think you said it before, it's happening for me and not to me. And I mean, we live in like one of the greatest times ever. We have so much available to us all the time. We used to have to farm and like grow and have chickens just to survive and eat and make your bread. We have so much opportunity to create from all of our creative facets now. So I revel in that sometimes.
It is so beautiful. And it is nice. And this is, like I said, you were talking about choice, and this is definitely my choice. And I 100% get that it is not for everybody.
Yes. Well, that's true. I always say there's no pie. Because like what you love and what delights you is going to be completely different than what I love and delights me versus Jade next door and Robert down the street and blah, 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 blah. And so really there's this like really beautiful tapestry of like everybody that can get their needs met and have, get those delights because everybody wants something different. Isn't that great?
It is great. It is. And it's great that not everybody wants to live in the same place and in the same climate and vacation at the same time and locale. It's all so good. So it's really great that people are delighted by different things and that what brings us joy, some of those places overlap, which is beautiful. And then some are completely separate, which is also beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. Love it.
So in your work, how long have you been doing what you do, and how does that really help support your yes on the daily, and how is that translating into the work you do for your clients?
Love this question, which is, it's really fun. I always forget this number for some reason, but I S-corped my company in 2010. So it's December 21st, 2010. So we're approaching that date here soon, at least the recording of this. So it's almost been 12 years officially, but I've been doing this for over 15 years.
I look like you're 22. So I'm not
love
sure
you. Thank you. Meditation.
Right, your big birthday of 25 years old.
I started when I was 2 years old. So I've been doing it for quite some time, and that's exciting in and of itself to not only build a business but sustain a business for that long. And I check my husband, thank God for him, because he's like, it's amazing that you've been able to do that. Like not many can say that they've stood the test of time. And so I have to remind myself of that as well. And how does my work contribute to my yes? Well, let's see. My main core mission and vision for my company, which is a boutique creative agency here in Los Angeles, and we help build personal brands for female entrepreneurs. I'm very much of the belief that if we can change and transform ourselves, then the people we are around and we can impact, and they can change and transform themselves, and on and on and on and on we go. And so with the personal branding work that I do with people, I just get so excited to see them not only step into their dream and the vision of their life and the impact they want to make and contribute while they're here on this planet, but then how their work transforms the people that they work with. And when the people that they work with feel transformed, then on it, like, again, it's that ripple effect, and on we go. And I love that. And I'm such a sap, you guys. Such a sap. When I see dreams come true, I will start crying, and it just moves me to tears. Like, it is one of my favorite things, whether it's someone having a baby or I'm like, I'm not even into basketball, but my husband is. And we were watching this basketball game, and it was like the final seconds and someone made the winning shot. And I just start tearing up. I'm like, that's so amazing. That person probably visualized that moment over and over and over and over again. And then it comes into the vibration of reality. And there is nothing that lights me up more than that. Right? And I feel like I get to do that and play with that by building these brands for these amazing women and entrepreneurs who have these huge visions or are already living their vision and like want to just amplify it even more. That lights me up like crazy. And owning my genius and ability in that, like, I can sift through all the mind thoughts and multiple ideas that entrepreneurs often have. We just have these entrepreneurial seizures all the time, right? And being able to whittle and distill that down into its purest form so that it gets represented in a way that, you know, people's ideal clients get to experience and like, oh yeah, that's for me. That's exactly what I've been needing. This will solve my problem, or, you know, create more delight in my life, or whatever that might be. So I have a way of really extracting that from the visionary mind and putting it into like a tangible reality so that the business can start to engage and be in that transaction, that beautiful dance. So I love it.
Gift. Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Yes.
I love that you, because you have been doing this for so long and because it is your zone of genius, that you are able to extract what a person is trying to communicate.
Exactly.
I mean, I just think of me trying to share the story of my dreamy barn life or whatever this is that I'm doing now. I have trouble explaining it because it's so multifaceted, but it's not all over the place. There's a very significant common denominator in it's all me. And I love to cook and I love to entertain and I love to have people come to my barn and I love to take people to France or some other fabulous place. And and so, you know, if someone asks like, what is it that you do? I just say, yes. Yes, I do. Oh, and I have a podcast and I have a membership and I, you know, whatever, cookie subscription and, you know, all of these things. And to be able to say, you know, yes, that is a thing, that it is a thing to have this multi-passionate, multifaceted list of offerings, but also to have a simplified message. And that is that I desire for people to feel welcomed, anticipated, and celebrated.
Love it.
And so that is what I do. And I do it in 132 ways.
Yes. And it creates so much.
When it's not winter, but
and it creates so much delight. And we talked about delight earlier as one of your main focuses right now. And you do that for people as well. You bring so much delight into their life just by sharing who you are and what delights you. And that's where that joy and yes factor overlaps. Those are your people. And I always say, like, especially when it comes to branding, it's such a buzzword right now, but it's like, don't be afraid to share your weird or, you know, share what truly is like makes you giddy inside, because that's the energy that is required to create this like fragrance of attraction that you know, really will bring the people who are meant to be in your sphere towards you. And you know, there might be other people who have homestead situations and other like branding experts all out there. We're all maybe saying the same things, you know, or using similar channels of sharing that creativity, but the way you do it is going to be so uniquely and fresh and delightful for you. And the way I express is going to be uniquely me. And that's what brings us together. I call it brand energetics, which is so much fun. And it's really what like unites the right people with the right people. And that's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It is so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's fun when you experience it, when you get to provide it for your clients, but it's fun when you get to experience it.
Totally.
Like you recently were strolling through Williams-Sonoma the week of Thanksgiving. And like, that is one of the stores that when I go in there, I just say, okay, you get me like this. And I can go into other stores that sell similar items.
Yeah.
It's not the same. No. And, you know, but that's somebody else's happy place. And that there really is so much to knowing who you are as an entrepreneur, as a brand, and how you can communicate this. And I guess it's discernible, but it's hard to articulate. Yes.
That's the hardest thing about branding. It is kind of an intangible. Like walking into Williams-Sonoma, you think it's just products on a shelf and display case centers. No, that is all very much by design, specifically for Wendy.
That's right.
and I love even the psychology and the science behind all of that. And so I just think if we can all run our businesses in a way that is really providing a solution for people in that way from a very good-hearted place, then yeah, more power to all of us, right?
Yes. And I love that there are different, there's different ways to interact with these businesses as well. And I don't mean to be like, let's talk about me again. But in talking to you about what you do, it just makes me think of, there are people that want to come here and they want to help me. They're so gracious.
That's so amazing.
I love those people. Thank you, people, if you're listening. Sweet Heidi and Mary, who just come and say, I want to pull weeds. What can I do to be of service? And so they want to support me, which is lovely. And they just like to get their hands dirty.
Exactly.
And they want to do it. And then there are other people that want to watch me make marshmallows, but they're never going to make marshmallows.
Yeah.
And so there's just different, there's so many different traits of the audience that's attracted to any
brand
business and any brand. Exactly. And so I think it's really beautiful that it's not, this person A through F goes over here, and G through M goes over here.
Yeah, and I think that way of branding and business kind of got thrown out the window about, roughly 2 years ago. And the word authentic gets thrown around so much. I'm almost tired of it, but it's not hiding who you are and how you actually live your life and what things excite you and or concern you, and sharing about those in a way that feels real for you. And not having this idea of everything has to be super buttoned up and on a program and you know what I mean? So it's really, again, coming back to those brand energetics and sharing that. And I think you do that so beautifully too, if I may. So it's fun. And then it's kind of addicting and really feeling I'm in that store with you, or in that living room with you, or in that kitchen with you, as though I'm sitting there drinking hot cocoa, watching you make marshmallows, just thinking you're the greatest thing on planet Earth,
you're back at you. I just think
it's so
anyone
fun.
sitting there, anyone sitting there is the greatest thing on planet Earth, because for me to be me, I need you.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'm just making marshmallows in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, like I need the people that think that's amazing and want to sit in the room and drink my equally fabulous hot cocoa
I can imagine.
with one of these peppermint marshmallows floating inside of it.
Bad Instagram hasn't figured out scratch and sniff yet. So
oh my gosh, won't that be amazing?
When we get smell through the internet, I mean, I think we're
very Willy Wonka, but I'm here for it.
Exactly.
It's so good. Yeah. I was a wedding planner for 30 years, and there's this, of course, every bride says, I don't expect perfection. I can't even say that without laughing. Of course you do.
Okay.
Of course you expect perfection. You know that it's a tall order, but there's still that expectation. And so from coming from that world, and of course, like, I'm very far from perfect. The weddings were far from perfect, but coming from that industry and that kind of filter to moving across country from the city to the country to a house built in 1785 that is on 5 acres with this beautiful antique barn that has never had a party in it. This place cured me from any filter of perfection. And it was the best thing that could happen to me.
I love
because
when did you move there again?
2013.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say, I thought I was a gracious person, but there's something about the requirement to show yourself grace with such regularity and with such great proportion that the grace that you offer to others, it becomes immeasurable.
That's so beautiful.
So I love that has been a lesson of living here, that it is grace over perfection. And I'm so grateful.
Is that not the epitome of nature in itself? Like teaching you constantly? Nature is all about grace and never about perfection.
And about timing and about it doesn't matter what your rule is for when those oranges are ready.
Not
the oranges are ready when the oranges are ready.
That's right.
Right? And I grew up in Southern California. I don't know if you've always lived in LA.
Most of my life. Yeah, most of it.
So, like we make up when the seasons are.
Because it's mostly sunny all of the time.
Happening. It's either, summer or Christmas, like that. That's just how it was. So living in a place now with 4 very distinct seasons that happen whether you are ready for the next one or not. It has it's sped time up for me. It's made me more mindful of time, more mindful for how things change and how really today is so important. It really is. And it really is, because it's above freezing. It's not raining. I need to run the tractor until it runs out of gas, so then I can put the treated gas in it so it doesn't freeze and ruin the engine during the winter.
Oh my gosh, so much to think about.
There are so many things each season, and then there's a preparation, there's an opening up, a beginning of a new season, and then there's a closing of that in preparation for the next one. And it's just this beautiful dance, this movement that it has momentum, but it cannot be rushed. And it has momentum and it can't be stopped. Like, it doesn't matter that you want to spend a month in France, like you can, but boy, is the grass going to be tall when you get back, depending on when you left, or you know, how much, if the snow doesn't get shoveled the proper way the first time, like you live with this decision for several months. So it's just a fascinating way to experience the passing of time.
Yes.
I get so excited. So
I love it. I mean, being in California, I haven't really experienced seasons in a very long time. But I feel so like resonant to it. Everything you're describing, I love. And what I think is so cool about what you do is for someone like me who doesn't necessarily get all the seasons, and I can watch you, I can be with you, I can connect to you, and, you know, a little, again, vicariously feel those transitions and those changes by the way you describe. So I'm so curious, and forgive me if you've explained this a million times on this podcast.
No.
What was the major impetus that made you decide, I don't want to live in Southern California anymore and do this wedding planning thing and move to where you are now?
That's a great question. My mom is from Lowell, Massachusetts. So I pointed, it's that way. It's about 30 minutes from here. So my parents married and moved to Southern California just a few weeks before I was born.
Amazing.
So I've always wanted to live here. We would come visit, and I just thought it was beautiful. The freeway is beautiful here. And, you know, in Southern California, everything is concrete and stucco and palm trees. And, you know, that's beautiful in my estimation from June through August. And then it needs to flip. And I think because we would come visit and I would see those changes, and then also have cousins and family here, where in Southern California, it was just my immediate family. Because interestingly enough, I mean, you know, living in California, it can be quite transient because it's beautiful. So people want to move there. Massachusetts is not like that, in the sense where people don't leave. So they live here and their parents live
down the street,
4 houses down, and everyone goes to the same church, and there's multi-generations like in the same town even. And so even to move 3 towns away, let alone like my mother moving across country, it's the same. So for someone that has moved 2 towns away, they're considered, they moved away.
Interesting.
Where my mom actually moved away to California, it was the same. She could have just, you know, moved to Andover. It would have been the same. So, so I had wanted to just experience the beauty of the place, but also the connection to my people. And I have a younger brother, but I have this set of 3 cousins that are like two of them are older and one's younger. So like we're all nestled together, and I don't have sisters. And I just thought, it would be so fun. So
I love that you trusted that guidance though, because it's a bold move, you know.
It's a long held dream also. So I packed 3 times as an adult to move cross country, and twice unpacked still in California.
Wow.
Yep.
Third time was the charm.
That's right. The 3rd time was a charm. Amazing. And interestingly enough, I was looking for bed and breakfasts when I was moving here finally. And as the time got closer, my husband was looking for not a bed and breakfast. So this was actually the only house that I looked at that was not a bed and breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I just imagined people walking around the lawn with a glass of champagne in their hand. And then of course the barn was so dreamy. And I thought, okay, if I can't have that dream, then this is a place that I can live happily and
Mm-hmm.
just love it. And
now you have your bed and breakfast. I'm so excited for you.
So just 2 days ago, that was finalized, and I'm just so excited.
Yes. So what's next for Wendy?
Oh my gosh, who knows? I mean, one of the things that I love and I think is so fun living in a place where there's seasons, I love beginnings. So I think even as a wedding planner, like I love talking to the bride and groom. They just got engaged. I'm like, oh, hooray. Like, I want to talk about all of it. I could talk about your wedding all day long for a year, which is what I did. And so I loved, and then I loved, the beginning of the wedding weekend. And wasn't a huge fan of breaking up with these people the day after their weddings. Like that was sad. So I've kept many fabulous friendships going, which is lovely. But I just love beginnings.
Amazing.
I love a place setting, sitting down at a restaurant or even setting the table here at the house and seeing, all of this flatware and all of these glasses and just knowing that goodness is on its way.
I love that.
And so with the bed and breakfast permit, I just feel like it's another beginning. And I have big, fabulous plans to have the barn restored. And that is just another beginning. So to transition from...
You should be on the Magnolia Network, on your own show, I swear.
Yes, I should.
Wendy, please, let's make this happen.
Yes, let's make it happen. And so it is. You heard it here, my friends.
Yeah.
So I just, I wanted these things, and each new beginning that I wanted, required movement, which was great. And now I feel like there's these series of beginnings that are happening and I don't have to pack any boxes, right? Like they're just here. There's so much here in this space, in this season, in this moment in time that I get to experience and share. And I feel like even every day is just a beginning, and I'm so excited for it.
I love it. So true.
Thank you for asking.
Oh my gosh.
So fun.
I wanted to know. Inquiring minds wanted to know.
Hey, I know. Thank you. Because I feel like, everyone knows, but they don't.
Yeah. And it's inspiring. Like dreams, it wasn't all happenstance. Like you put it into your dreamscape and, it took all the necessary steps in the right timing, in the right order, just like nature around you. And here we are.
Right.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like perfect timing while I was waiting.
No,
of course.
Never does.
That's how it is.
I'm
right?
like, faster.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I would like to be a mother. Okay, let's go. I remember 1,000 years ago when I first started trying to have a baby, I just thought, okay, so here's how it's going to go. Famous last words. I'm going to be pregnant in this month and then have the baby in this month. And then I'll have time to be back in my bathing suit by this month. And I was 25 years old and I'm 54 now and have an 8-year-old. Like, it's just, I love, plans are great and dreams are great, and surrendering to the outcome.
Yep.
And trusting.
I know, that's a big one.
Trusting that God knows and that he's not mean.
Not at all.
No, like it feels mean. Like you feel like, hey, I'm over here.
I always think my sweet little brain can only conceive of so much.
Right.
And the grand universe of all that has much more in store for me than I can ever even imagine. So I hold the dreams to the best of my ability and then let great creation fill in the rest, because it's much better than anything I could ever come up with. And I think too, just in hindsight, I've had enough experiences where oh man, had it gone the way I thought it should have gone, I would be in big trouble right now. So thank goodness it didn't. And that again comes back to it's happening for us, not to us, because really the twisting, winding road that we call life, it really, if that trust is there and that surrender is there, it is quite magnificent.
100%.
And even in those utchy, uncomfortable, very uncomfortable times, if I hold that candle to those moments, it makes it a lot easier, and just remember, like, you know what, this is gonna work out in my favor for sure. And I'm strong enough to get through those discomfort, and uncomfortable times.
Right. And I think talking about them, remembering them, retelling, even these stories, it's so helpful because it reminds me, I am seen, I am heard, I am known, I am loved.
Welcomed.
Yes, I am
anticipated
and celebrated.
That's right.
by the universe. And I do not need to worry. So good.
Oh, so good.
What a relief.
What a relief. It's like worrying's like sitting in a rocking chair thinking you're gonna get somewhere.
Right. Or praying for something that you don't want to happen.
Yes.
Don't worry. It's not serving you. No. Oh my gosh. I have loved this conversation.
Me too.
This is beautiful. Tell everyone where they can find you, where they can have you write their brand story. And
yes, please go to designKREW with a K, designKREW.com. That's my website. And you can find me on Instagram with the same handle, designKREW with a K. And you can follow me there and see what's going on, what's happening. And would just love to connect with anyone and everyone that's listening. We have a really cool quiz on our website. It's the brand archetype quiz. So you can find out what your personal brand archetype is and kind of how to navigate your brand if you have a business or anything like that, what to do next, so to speak. So go take that quiz. It's really fun and quick and easy. And yeah, I've just loved being here, Wendy. It's been so enjoyable chatting with you and exploring life with you and having these fun conversations.
Oh, thank you so much. We will link all of that in the show notes. And I'm just looking forward to more fabulous conversations with you in the coming months. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy.
Have a beautiful day.
You too.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.